but I'll go ahead and allude again to it this week. So these two things are equivalent. They mean the same thing. Radical form, exponential form, they're both going to give you the same answer. Notice that the number that was the index is now in the, yes, I heard it first from one, so they can have the point, is now in the denominator. The index and the denominator should always match. So number 1, yeah, it's the 7th root of 11, yes. Yes, Andrew, you can have a point. And again, and I'll keep writing this until everyone else is like me and Andrew, and they're like, yeah, I got that, that's easy. The index and the denominator, they need to match. So someone help me rewrite number 2. And I'm going to give every group a point and 4 an extra point because I like how I said cube root of 15. Like he was fancy, which was really good. But yes, the index and the denominator, again, matched. They have to match every single time. Okay, and then so number 5, we have 3a to the 5th b squared, and I raise it to the what power? The 1/3. Every group can have a point. My gosh, y'all called on really fast. That was good. Again, the index and the denominator, they need to match. And now I'm going to do number 6 first. So it's 162 p to the 5th raised to the, is it 4th? It's 1/4, yes. Because again, the index and the denominator need to match. I'm going to give 4 the point because, my God, he was on it. Okay, I've saved number 3 for last. Why? Every group can have a point. I don't know why y'all, it's like y'all wake up better than, I guess, because school should start later. Let's just, because, the 3 is different. All our others have had a 1 in the fraction. So we're still going to have a 300. What number do I put here? Do I put the 2 or the 3? You put the 2 because, again, the index and the denominator have to match. Now, as for that 3, we can't just ignore him. He doesn't go away. You can either raise the entire thing to the 3rd power, or if you don't want to do that, you could have raised just the 300 to the 3rd power underneath the radical. All 3 of these are equivalent. So you can do 300 to the 3rd and then take the square root. You can take the square root of 300 and then raise it to the 3rd. Or you can do 300 raised to the 3 over 2. I told you 6/6 was easier than 6/5. 6/6 is easy. Now, 6/6 is easy if you practice on your own. But again, Ms. Compton's ran out of time, so she's not going to grade that Jemiah has practiced. But if Jemiah doesn't practice, how is Jemiah actually going to do on this next test? I do not know. Okay, so let's look at 10 through 17 below. This is my suggestion that she tries these before the test. Am I going to grade it? No. Is she going to do well if she hasn't practiced? Probably not. Okay, those hard to read fractions. It's a 1/5. It's a 2/7. It is a to the 3 over 4. It is, and then this last one is x to the 3rd raised to the 3 over 2. I think all the others you can read pretty well. Okay, if you thought that was easy, sadly that was the hard part of the day. We've got one less thing to do, and it is 7, 8, 9, and it has my favorite word, evaluate. I love it when problems say evaluate, because that means they actually want a number, which means I get to use my calculator. What is the danger in the fact that I'm about to use my calculator?
That's going to put in decimal.
Yeah, there's potential for decimals, and there's also potential for typos. So poor David works really hard on this. No, this one does. Yeah, that's 2. You can have your point. That's what I was alluding to. So my issue with 7, 8, 9 is they're super easy. but I don't actually see Naya's calculator when I grade her test paper. So if she puts -9, for instance, on number 7 because she got in a hurry, how am I going to give her partial points when there's no work? So if I were you, I'd type it in my calculator multiple times. And heck, I would type it in multiple ways. So before we even type in number 7, we could rewrite it. It could be cube root of -27 all squared. I mean, we just practiced that. Why not write it that way? And we learned last week how to type cube roots in our calculator. What button do I press in order to put a cube root in my calculator? You press math. Thank you, Landon. You can have your point. You're trying to do something else, not that yet. Okay, so if I press math and cube root -27, and if I'm wanting to square the whole thing, I probably want to add me some parentheses. That would always help in life. I raise it to the second power, and I get 9. So I think the answer is 9. Now, maybe I'll type it in differently. Maybe I'll do math, cube root, -27, and I'll raise it to the second power underneath the radical. Why am I going to get the wrong answer this time? I don't have enough parentheses. Who said that? You can have 2 points for that, ma'am. If I press it right now, I'm going to get a -9. I better go add some parentheses. And maybe not so many 2s. Go away. You go away. I just want you. Ah, darn you. It's supposed to be 9. Math. I can do this. I can type on a calculator today. -27 squared. Whew. 9. Okay. But sadly, Miss Compton's making life way too hard. There's a reason we like to go from radical form to exponential form. Exponential form is so much easier to type in the calculator. I can do -27 raised to the, and what button lets me type in a fraction? Second and then what? Yeah, it's alpha and then what? It's alpha y equals. Okay, so if I alpha y equals, I can type in 2/3. And she's probably right. I probably should have put some parentheses on this thing too. Let's see. Yeah, I should have. Because right now it's doing 27 to the 2/3 and then doing the negative sign. Again, your calculator does not know what your paper says, and you're telling it in the wrong order of operations. Because you stink. Okay, so we have some potential issues with negatives. I'm really lazy, so I don't normally press the fraction button. I probably would have just done -27 and then raised to the, which is, if you've forgotten the raise to the symbol, it's the one that looks like a house. It's called a caret. I would just put it in parentheses. 2 divided by 3. I don't even press the fraction button because I'm too lazy and in too big of a hurry. Okay, well, I typed number 7 in 1,000 different ways. Literally, Andrew wants to type it in at least 2. Type it in 2 different ways and make sure you're getting the same number both times before you put the number down on your paper. Because it's a shame for you to miss an easy one when you knew what you were doing. Okay, if you can beat me to the answer to 8, you can have your group of point. And you can have your group of point. 216 raised to the 1/3. The man is right, it is 6. Same thing for number 9. He gets another point for his group. Raised to the 1/2. Oh, I didn't put in enough zeros. He is correct on that as well. But again, if we're keeping up with things, the denominator is the same thing as the index. It was the same thing as square root of 0.0004. So he could have just done in his calculator second square root 0.0004. And he gets the same answer. Andrew wants to type it in a couple different ways and just make sure he's got everything down, especially on ones like number 7 that have a negative. The negative ones are the problems in life. So if Andrew was all over it, which clearly he is, he could also try the very bottom couple, like 18 through 21. But we will come back to that tomorrow. Because again, the test isn't technically till Wednesday, But it sounds like Andrew pretty much has it down, so he might want to just go ahead and start that test tomorrow. Okay.